Yo, what up, guys? It's here. The moment everybody has been waiting for is here. 5th September is the date. Thor Faehammer will be launched as a fusion in Raid Shadow Legends. In this video, I want to go over his skills again and check whether this fusion will be difficult, hard. We have not seen the calendar yet. We just want to see the important information Raid has to say about this champion and how you can go about obtaining him when that fusion kicks off. So he is already known to be one of the 4 champions that was released last month as part of this Asgard Divide and Raid Shadow Legends collaboration, right? Where these 4 champions came into this area and with their own full backstories and everything. We've already seen 3 of them. We've already obtained 1 for free, and he is gonna be the second one free-to-play players might be able to get for free. The other 2, Odin and the other lady, is gonna be kind of, depending on how much resources you get to obtain them when they get released by events or other ways that will get them. But for now, these 2 are guaranteed. If you can do a fusion, you've already gotten the other champion for free. Now it's time for you to pick up this champion if you can go for this fusion. So I know a lot of people are trying to get 3 copies of this Asgard Divide champions. I decided to say 2 is enough for me. So he's going to be my second one, and I'm fine not getting the lady and Odin because it's going to be an energy and resource drain in terms of shard especially. So what does this champion bring to Raid? Before I even go over his skills, let me tell you what Raid has to say about this champion so we don't impute our personal opinions into these champions fusions. All right. They said they are coming up with a fusion Asgard Divide champions who haven't been fully revealed yet. Thor Faehammer, he's the one. Being a strong, fearless nuker, that's a damage dealer right here. Thor will definitely shine bright in PvP content, or namely anywhere where the damage is needed. PvP content is the first priority, or anywhere where damage is needed. Yes, most champions who are useful in PvP are also useful in any other content where raw damage can just be used to clear waves or to take down bosses. So Thor Faehammer skill set consists of various AoE skills. We'll love to hear that on a damage dealer, not just single target but AoE skills, not just one but various AoE attacks, with a multi-hitter base skill sprinkled with crowd control and ignore of block damage and unkillable buffs. That's what you want from your damage dealer, to ignore unkillable and ignore block damage buffs that the enemies like to put on themselves to give themselves a chance at surviving your nukes. So that's what you want to hear from it. But the part I'm not very keen about is that crowd control aspect, because a damage dealer who does crowd control might be forced to now require accuracy. But you cannot totally ignore it and just build in purely damage and forget about the accuracy requirement because you don't care about the crowd control capability that he might bring to a team. We'll see which skill does that to see whether the accuracy will be required or it's one of those ones that will just, not require accuracy. Let's see. Thor's passive skill deserves special attention as it will have a special thunder counter that will passively increase Thor Faehammer's damage by 3% up to 30%. Is it across multiple waves or is just one? 30% crit damage increase on a passive that increased by 3%, 3%. It's going to be a long time to ramp up that to that 30%. That's what I'm thinking. And I'm thinking we don't have that time. We just want to go in there and clear everything. So maybe for longer battles, that might be useful, but for short battles, he might ramp up to maybe 9% before the battle even ends. So we'll love to see that the passive is going to have that his armor doing something, not just for fancy. He's not just holding it for fancy, because he's known to always use that hammer for great things. So it's going to add a 30% crit damage to it, but 3%. How long will it take to reach that 30%? That's what I'm thinking. The counter increases each time Thor deals damage until it reaches 10 in total. 1 damage, or is it you're talking about he hits 4 people? That's 3% times 4, and that's when he will bring down his wrath into enemies, attacking them all and placing stun for 1 turn. Just like the thunder in the sky, it might happen out of nowhere. Even not on his turn, making Thor a dangerous enemy. So the passive will just happen. It doesn't have to be his turn. But I thought he has to actually take a turn for it to count up to 10. I'd love to see this thing in battle and see. The fusion event for this champion will start on Thursday, 5th of September. We already know that date. They say, please know that the format of the fusion will be a bit different, but you're already familiar with it. It will be an old school with a fragment mixture. That's whatever. Whenever they say that, usually feels that way. But let's see. Just as usual, you need to fuse legendary champions from Epic, while you need to summon the Epic champions from fragments. So I was right. It's a mixture of the old school fusion plus fragment fusion, where we'll see the Epic champions that we can get from fragment portal. 4 epics for one 5-star, another 4 epics for one 5-star. I forgot how they do it, but basically you get 4 of the epics from the fragment and make them 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, and then make them into the legendary champion Thor. This means that this is not a fusion you can save. You cannot save it. And yeah, that's all they have to say about him. They didn't really hype him that much. I thought they would say crazy more things about him, but I like the fact that his hammer is doing something, and that's the hammer that will be doing the stun on you when the counter goes up to 10. Now let's see what makes the counter go up to 10, because I really want to see this skill in battle. So I'm heading straight to the passive to find out, because that's the most exciting thing about this champion right here. Every time this champion deals damage, increase the thunder counter by 1, stacked up to 10. So thunder counter is 1 every time it deals damage. I'm still asking. It doesn't say if he hits 4 people, does it count at 4 stacks? If he hits 5 enemies, does it count at 5 stacks, or does it just count whenever he hits, just counts it at 1 damage? That means he has to deal damage 10 times before that crazy thing happen. Each thunder stack increases this champion's damage by 3%, up to 30%. All right. Once the thunder counter reaches 10, attacks all enemies and places a stun debuff for 1 turn. After the attack, the thunder counter resets to 0. It doesn't say it doesn't need accuracy though, so therefore that stun will need accuracy to land that stun debuff. All right, now let's head back to the A1 and see. Attacks one enemy 2 times, has a 20% chance of repeating the attack. Each hit decreases the target's meter by 10%. Again, I'm asking, does this count as 2 thunder stacks? All right. On the A2, Fulminous Ricochet attacks all enemies. After hitting the first enemy, will hit every other enemy in random order. Following the initial hit, each subsequent hit increases the damage inflicted by 25%, stacks up to 100%. So the last enemy he hits will get the most damage on them. Damn. This is the skill that will ignore block damage and unkillable buffs. The effect does not work against bosses, unfortunately. After hitting the first enemy, will hit every other enemy in random order. Following the initial hit, each subsequent hit increases the damage inflicted by 25%. So total 4 enemies. If you say it's gonna hit everybody, then it's 5 people. What if there are 5 people up there? We would love to see this in battle. I don't know how all this works. Does it hit one then hit all at the same time, or does it hit 1, hit 2, hit 3? What if there are 10 spiderlings? Will it take him 2 entire minutes of hitting each of the spiderlings one by one, or it will be a fast AoE that you won't even notice that he hit all of them one by one? Anyway, Hammer of Heaven attacks all enemies before attacking, places increased attack and increased crit damage, 30% increased crit damage buff on this champion for 2 turns. So he buffs himself before he goes in for the nuke. This most likely is the one you want to start the battle with. Has a 75% chance of permanently decreasing the resistance of each enemy by 10%. It's going to be a 100% chance of decreasing the resistance by 10%, stacks up to 50%. What stacks it up though? Has a 100% chance of decreasing the resistance of each enemy by 10%. What stacks this up? Also has a 75% chance of placing decreased speed debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. So they're trying to make you actually use accuracy on this champion by granting him that decreased resistance. It feels like a passive, but it's not. Does it place the decreased resistance, or it just decreases their resistance? Has a 75% chance of permanently decreasing the resistance of each enemy by 10%. That's not much, but it will require him to build less accuracy, I guess, in some way. So it will be your choice whether you want to build this champion with accuracy or without accuracy, knowing fully well that if you forget about the accuracy, to boost up his crit rate, crit damage, and attack stats. Yes, his damage will be based on attack. Yes, it's right here. So it will boost all that, and he will be able to ignore block damage and unkillable, which is not a content we see a lot in PvP. Damn. Increase ally attack in all battles by 30%, so it's not restricted to be used only in PvP as the aura right here. Thor Faehammer is coming to Raid Shadow Legends 5th September. I have seen his skills. It will be now left to those who have access to testing him in the test server to tell us whether this skill will be doing crazy damage according to the multipliers, whether it can be the best nuker right now in Raid Shadow Legends, because it's expected that he is one of the best champions in any of those universe that he already belongs to. So he shouldn't come here and become weak. So I'm looking forward to him being incredibly good in dealing damage and not just hit like a wet noodle and become forgotten in Raid Shadow Legends so soon, because we're already hyping Odin up, so we should be able to hype this one up, because he's tall, so he should be able to do much damage. So are you going for this fusion 5th September? Do you even have the resources? Because this is not going to be an easy one for sure. It's not going to be an easy one at all. You have at least you need to get at least 7 sacred shards, starting off for the summon rush, and then maybe however you can use to complete champion chase from your old fragments or other resources. So I already have coming up to the 7 sacred. I'm hoping by 5th of September I have my 7 sacred shards lining up right here for that summon rush, because that's most likely what these fusions will start with. We've not seen the fusion calendar yet, but when it launches I'll share that with you for sure. So let me know what you think about this champion spotlight, or his first impression, at least first look at this champion, to see whether it's worth going for or not. Is it a fusion that you're going for sure, or you think it's worth skipping? I wouldn't skip a champion like this, even if I know I already have crazy damage dealers that I already use in the arena. He might just be better than them. You can never tell. You can never know until you begin to use them in the game. So for now, I'll just see if I can grab it. I have nothing else to spend my resources in Raid. And as for this new content that they brought out as part of this Asgard divide, I'm having a problem with this event dungeon, fighting it at level 30. I'm failing. Let me show it on the screen right now. Having problem taking down at level 30. I've been trying it yesterday on stream, and 29 is fine. I was trying not to use a Seer and Gnot and all those crazy champions. Rebuilding my Lysandra and some other champions to have the right accuracy for this content. Yeah, I'd love to hear your opinions about this content, because it's a good one that they brought 4 new champions into Raid, and they are giving away 2 for you to be able to obtain them. 1 through a fusion, 1 we obtain for free from the 7-day login. And that is still going on, right? Loki chase is still going on, and we already picked up the champion. And coming up to the 14-day mark when we pick up a 2-star perfect sale for him, and going all the way up to phase 2 where we even have up to a 5-star perfect sale for this champion. It's amazing. Even if it's not a champion you want to build instantly, book instantly, the fact that they can give this champion to you for free and give you all these resources along the way is also quite good, right? So this is a very, very welcome development in the Raid Shadow Legends community, as this Asgard Divide collaboration did not just bring 4 champions but gave us 2 for us for free. All right, I'd love to hear your opinion about this fusion. This is what's going for or not. Personally, I'll be going for it for sure. The Barbarian faction is already taken down on the Noob to Pro, so I'll not be chasing this one on the Noob to Pro because it's not going to help me on that Lydia chase, right? All right. I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more daily raid Shadowlands content. Later, guys.